In today's video, we're going to be talking about if the crypto cycle is over, if I have capitulated all of my bags, and let's be real, what I'm actually doing right now while crypto Twitter's panicking, crypto investors in general are panicking, and what I think of the market, what I am doing with my portfolio, because as you know, if you've been paying attention or watching the channel, we are documenting everything we are doing within our portfolios and everything in crypto for the year 2025, because I think 2025, similar to 2024 and 2023, is going to be a decent year for crypto. And I think you guys will get some value out of me sharing what I'm doing with my portfolio and what I think is happening in the markets, because at the very least, when I look back on this, just like I've looked back at all of my videos from years and years ago, it helps me become a better trader, investor, person. So if it's not for you, at least it's for me. Let's talk about the market. Let's look at what is going on in the market, because it has been just an insane day, like I said. And what's crazy is Bitcoin is literally at 90K. Bitcoin just overnight, kind of, at least if you're in the US overnight, was hovering around 94, 95K, dipped under 90K, but man, did the altcoins take an absolute wipe, like serious wipe. Honorable mentions here for some of the biggest dumps that we saw overnight. I think Aerodrome, one that we've talked about a lot, but one that we don't actually hold anymore because of the nature and the tendency it has to do things like this. If this chart's going to load, there we go. The tendency for things like this, where Aerodrome a couple of weeks ago was sitting at almost $2.50. And then today in the morning when I woke up and look at prices, is barely above 90 cents. Now, this is an insane, situation in terms of volatility, because we're talking about, some of the best performing assets of the last year within the crypto market showing no type of strength whatsoever. Basically getting robbed. Now, if you've been following me on Twitter, we were talking about AI16Z. We were talking about Virtual's protocol. I mean, both these projects literally dumping from its all-time high today in the morning, 60% for Virtuals and about 60% for AI16Z. Two of the biggest projects within the AI X crypto space, infrastructure plays for AI agents and AI development, two that we talked about, and two that I actually may or may not have purchased on this last dip or allocated more to. But that's not really the point of this conversation, and we'll get into exactly what I did and what changes I made in my portfolio at the end of this video. What I really wanted to discuss is a few little themes, few little things that you can add to your philosophy. And I know that not everybody's going to care or even listen to this, but for those of you who are actually taking this journey with me throughout the rest of this year, I think it'll be important to hear this, because you can get my mindset, and I would love to hear what you guys are thinking. So at this stage in the market, I would just give you my base case thesis for what I think is going to happen with Bitcoin and why I think it's going to happen. I think right now, and I think we talked about this, and you can actually go, guys, this is some really huge alpha for you. I actually started a podcast with one of my good friends in crypto, and we just launched it, so not a lot of people know about it. It's not getting a lot of traction because it's on a brand new channel. But since you're watching this, go down to the link below, check out the podcast. You'll get detailed insights into what exactly I'm doing, but obviously these videos can't be too long. That being said, go check out the podcast. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be huge. At least you're going to get, more content from me if you desire that throughout 2025. But the point being is, on that podcast, I was discussing the global liquidity cycle. If you follow Raoul Pal, you're very familiar with his ideas on this. And it's very simple at a high level. It's very simple. It's essentially, we believe the global liquidity is going to rise in 2025. And because of that, Bitcoin will rise as well. Risk on assets will do well. And so I have allocated, and I have been allocating since September-ish of last year. So September-ish, if we want to look at where Bitcoin was when this was, why is this? Oh, this is not the Bitcoin chart. I'm an idiot. If we want to look at Bitcoin and what price Bitcoin was, because I was really looking, and how I trade the crypto markets really is by looking at what Bitcoin's going to do and then trying to make an assumption on what I should be doing based on that. So if we go back down to September time, this was, all right, pretty much close to the bottom. I think around here, October, the start of October is when I started allocating back into the market. And now, of course, Bitcoin has really outperformed most of the altcoins. When I went back into the market in 2024 or end of 2024, it wasn't going into Bitcoin or MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy was actually one of my biggest plays for 2024, but I have sold out of that position now just based on how well MicroStrategy has done. In the long term, let's see if that works out. Maybe I'll feel stupid for selling out, but I did that in a way because I believe that, and this was the incorrect assumption, that the markets were going to play out similarly to how they've played out in the past, which is not the case. And I think what we're seeing right now, and what everyone needs to be extremely cognizant of, is that it is not as easy as just spray and pray a bunch of altcoins and you are going to see real returns. I'm being honest with you, I spent a lot of time, and I have for basically since 2020, spent every day of, I don't want to say every day of my life, but at least putting some sort of attention to this market for about 4 or 5 years now. And this is the most difficult it has been in terms of how much time and energy you need to spend in order to continue winning in this space when you're talking about, altcoin market and really trying to maximize value. I'll show you a tweet from someone obviously everyone knows, maybe, controversially, people don't like him, Ansem, who was like a main character of 2024. Again, you don't need me to explain to you who Ansem is. Ansem basically summed it up exactly what I've been saying. And he basically is just talking about there's going to be pockets of extreme outperformance, AI X blockchain being one of them that I believe is a no-brainer. And then people will obviously move down the risk curve because of the cyclical nature of when certain risk assets do well, like Bitcoin, then Ethereum does well, which is not the case right now, but like you get the idea, like money trickles down into riskier and riskier assets, the more there is this idea or the psychological potential for more returns. It's just the way our stupid monkey minds work. And so what I've been observing in 2024 specifically, and now, is that, guys, the only thing that is showing strength in the crypto market is Bitcoin. Everything else, even these massive plays literally of a month ago, such as AI16Z and virtuals that look like unbelievable plays going from less than 500 million to 5 billion. This is specifically referring to virtuals, completely tanked when Bitcoin, broke maybe 95K and started moving down for like a 5 to 6% move. Like this thing really, really crashed. And there's been many examples of this. And for some, it's hard to say that they'll ever come back from where they were at the top. Now, again, let's go back to things like Arrow. This is one that I have, again, no bias against any of these coins. I traded Arrow almost perfectly in 2021. And, when I saw it going up to $2.50, I wasn't upset that I didn't have a bag. I was just thinking, wow, this is great for the people who ended up holding on, but there's always going to be other opportunities. Again, I think this might have been maybe a generational buying opportunity on Arrow now when I look at it wicking down to 88 cents. But the point I'm trying to make here is if you go and look at Bitcoin dominance, people are expecting this to break down, but it doesn't need to break down, guys. It doesn't need to. The passive bid, the institutional money is all being funneled into Bitcoin. So the case for Bitcoin has never been greater. The case for our altcoins has never been worse. The only narrative and the only place that I am spending time and allocating to, and I will continue to say that, this is AIX crypto. Tau, one of my favorite plays, something that I still hold, is underperforming now. At this point, it's not necessarily underperforming, it's just it hasn't even broken all-time highs, but fundamentally speaking, it should be higher relative to Bitcoin when, Tau was hitting $700 back when Bitcoin was at 60, 70K. Now Bitcoin is at, 90K, was at over 100K, and Tau was not hitting all-time highs, had not broke those all-time highs. So my point to you guys, and this is where I'm at mentally, is we have to be extremely selective of what altcoins we're picking, even more than in the past. Even it's mattered way more than in the past, and believing that we can outperform the market, trading altcoins, has never been probabilistically. I have a very hard time saying that word. It's never been worse. The probability of you being successful has never been worse trying to deploy the strategy. And I'm being 1000% real with you. That's just the case. And this is being honest with myself too, because for many, many years, I believed that I could outperform Bitcoin by trading. And I was wrong. I definitely in 2020 could have just full ported and DCA'd Bitcoin and be up a lot more than I am now. And that's a lesson. And that's a lesson to all of you guys out there that have also tried to basically beat the market by trading altcoins. This is also what I will say. For the plays that I'm about to talk to you guys right now that I think have potential and people are already dismissing as non-opportunities, before I go into these, this is allocation with less than or about 10% of my portfolio. 90% of my crypto portfolio is in safer, larger, less volatile assets. And of course it's crypto, so there's no such thing, but I'm talking about the Bitcoins, the Ethereums, the Solanas, 90% of my crypto portfolio. And so this is not even 10%. This is 10% of my crypto portfolio, which is not even, it's not even close to at least a percentage, or maybe it's like about 5% of my total net worth here. So it's a very small percentage. I mean, 5% is not a insignificant amount. That's a decent amount, but I am working with a very small percentage of my net worth when talking about the plays I'm about to discuss with you. That being said, I do think these are the ones that have asymmetric upside, and I want you to pay attention to them, or at least pay attention to the AIX blockchain space. I think we talked about the first one, and that's GOAT. Godius Maximus. I genuinely think, guys, this space is moving so quickly that GOAT was like the greatest thing. Literally, GOAT was the GOAT of the crypto space a couple of months ago, and now it's like nobody talks about it, nobody cares about it. There's a few maybe larger key influential leaders calls in the space that talk about GOAT, but most people have forgotten about it because capital is rotating so fast. People think that things are becoming irrelevant at a rapid pace. But I think GOAT has no execution risk, meaning there's not necessarily fundamentals that they're trying to develop with this outside of it being a meme coin at the very base of it, which I like. And I think that if we're going to, again, speak in probabilities or try and understand from a probabilistic standpoint, where do I have the best chance of a high, lower risk, high reward setup, GOAT makes sense because it was the first in this narrative, the AIX blockchain narrative, with this agents kind of thing and autonomous agents type thing. This was the first, and I think that capital will rotate back into this. If it does not, my portfolio is not going to blow up if it doesn't, and I'm happy to be wrong about this, but I think, the space is getting a little too impatient and they're trying to find the next big thing and are running around in circles when I think we have opportunities like GOAT that we don't need to overthink. And Fartcoin, yes, Fartcoin. I can't believe it, but it is, guys, it's I think it's up the most out of everything on this red day. I think it's literally up the most. It's had like a 30% candle on a recovery. It looks like one of the strongest altcoins in the space, and obviously Fartcoin is technically a derivative of Truth Terminal, just like GOAT. And so I think these two coins are absolute no-brainers. I don't have an allocation to Fart, but I think it would be stupid not to. And maybe, again, as 2025 shows its hand, it's up 38%. It's insane. It's up 38% today. So yeah, I think you can't fade GOAT. I don't think you can fade Fart at this point. It's just ridiculous. And the last one that I'm going to talk about that, again, seems very unfavorable right now, and I think maybe potentially it never recovers, is AI16Z. Now, this is the framework built on Solana that Mark Andreessen is involved with, and there's been a lot of controversy with the founder. I think I'm not willing to give up on it yet. I've allocated to this a little higher than it already is. I bought the dip on this a little bit too early. I kind of caught a knife with it, but I did allocate to it, and I'm not releasing my allocation to this just yet, even though there's a lot of negativity around it already, because I still think there's a chance. Now, obviously, I own AIXBT as well, which I haven't done anything with my position. I've added sub 20 cents. I added at 30 cents, and now I'm chilling. I'm letting it stay. I think it has a good potential to be that narrative leader in terms of the AI agents, and they do have the truth terminal, the AIXB terminal, that does provide a lot of value. I'm unfortunately don't have enough coins to gain access to it, but I see people who share what is on that terminal, and it does provide value. So all of this to say, so AI16Z, GOAT, Fartcoin, those are, I think, I'm kind of pissed at myself that I didn't get Fartcoin today because it's literally up 40%. But I think these things are where the attention and where my capital is going to lie. Outside of that, I don't think there's any reason to overcomplicate these things other than have an allocation to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, maybe SWI. XRP looks good right now. I'll be honest with you, KASPA, I'm losing faith in KASPA. I'm wondering if I should be holding capital there. But I still have a very puny allocation to KASPA. It gets smaller and smaller, as the days go by. But all that being said, guys, I hope you're doing well. Please let me know what you're allocating to, what you're looking at. I'm basically just looking at, AIX crypto here, outside of just the major plays in the space. And that might be kind of boring to the people who don't care about it, but I genuinely think that's the only place that is worth allocating time and money if you're not just saying like, listen, I'm not going to beat the market. I don't need to spend this much time trying to beat the market. I'm just going to allocate to the winners. Bitcoin, crypto ETFs, diversify into every other thing in the world that you possibly can, like SPY, VOO, stock market, 401k, real estate. Do all those things first before trying to think that you can beat the crypto market, because I'm telling you from someone who has tried and wasted a lot of time trying to beat the crypto market, even if I'm still going to try because I'm a competitive person and believe I can, I'm not doing it with a significant amount of my portfolio, and I'm not banking on my ability to beat the market. Some people get lucky. Some people do that 1000x, but most people don't. So just remember that. Guys, if you're still here, if you're watching this, if you want the content to continue, please do me a favor. Like this video. I think like AI kind of knows when I put my hand up to there we go. It's doing it. Please like this video, share it, subscribe, engage with the content. Let me know that you want to continue seeing me documenting this journey, because I will. I'm on a huge content spree right now. I think I've recorded 3 episodes of this podcast that are on the other channel. Please go check it out. I know it's not at the place that it needs to be yet, but it'll get there over time. And the whole point is to just document something, have a journey, and be transparent with people and share this journey with other people, because I feel a lack of community when I don't do that in the crypto space specifically. And I made the commitment to upload for you guys, so that's what I'm doing. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for watching. Real ones only. You already know.